What's going on, everyone? It's your girl Just Naughty, and today I'm going to be pre-parting my hair for large jumbo knotless box braids. I am starting on unwashed hair. I actually washed my hair maybe 3-4 days ago and pinned it up into a bun. But if you guys are doing this style, wash your hair. I'm gonna start off by creating a line from ear to ear so that I'll have two sections, one in the front and one in the back. And then I'm gonna put the back section up and work on the front. With the front, all that I'm gonna do is split it in half. I do want a part going straight down the middle. If I do feel like my part isn't straight enough, I will add some edge control and go back over that line. The edge control that I'm using is the Easy Braids edge control. Now, this is normally one of my favorites, but I think that I've had this container for a little bit too long, so you guys will see the white residue. I'm gonna pin up the sides of my hair using this scrunchie. It's best if you use the ones that don't have metals in them, or else it will snag your hair. Now we're gonna go ahead and get started with the back of my hair. Since my hair is not freshly washed and there's no moisture on it, I'm gonna have to add some water to help loosen it up. To start my first row of braids, I take my rat tail comb and I line it up from ear to ear. So I'm making a straight line from left ear to right ear. To make sure that my line is as crisp as possible, I am gonna use some of that Easy Braids edge control on that line that I parted. And then I'm gonna go back over that line with my rat tail comb. Now that I'm done with that first row, I'm gonna go ahead and get that scrunchie and put it up so that I can start the next row. Now I'm gonna go ahead and get started with the second row. I am just eyeing it just to make sure that it's the same size as the first row. I'm kind of using my hands as a guide, being that I don't have a mirror behind me. Now all of my parts aren't gonna be that straight, but I'm fine with it just as long as it looks like a line, whether it's a curved one or a straight one. I'm gonna use this edge control and try my best to get these lines as straight as possible. As I get to the top of my head, my parts are no longer going to be straight. They're going to start looking curved. And of course, it's going to get smaller. So this part will be my last part for the back. This part is going to section out the third and the fourth row. Now that I'm done with that back section, I have a total of 4 rows in the back, and each of these rows should be even. So now I'm gonna line up the sides with the back. The front section was super easy. All I did was line up where my hairline is to the back so that it lines up with that second row that's in the back. It's honestly best to line it up from the back and go forward to your hairline. I was trying my best to do it the opposite way because I didn't want my hands to be in the way, but eventually I had to go the comfortable route. Now that I'm done with that first section in the front, I'm gonna do the next 2 rows the same way. I'm just gonna line up the front with the back rows. Now when I'm working with the back section, I do want to make sure that the lines match up with the back rows, but I also want to make sure that the front of my part matches up with the other side of my head. So you'll see me looking from left to right just to make sure everything lines up and match on both sides. If you guys take a closer look at my scalp, it looks like I have dandruff or something like that, but as I mentioned before, the edge control did kind of dry up on my scalp and it turned into that white crusty look that you guys see, but I will show you guys what I did with it at the end of my knotless box braids video. All right, now I have a total of 3 rows on the left, 3 rows on the right, and 4 rows on the back. I'm gonna start making subsections, starting with the row in the back. I'm only gonna make one part going down the middle of that first row so that I'll have 2 sections on that first row. For each row that I am doing, I am applying water and a moisturizer to my hair because it is dry. So for every row that I do, you probably will see some white residue, and that's what that is. For that second row, I'm gonna do something called brick layering. So I'm gonna make sure that my part is in between the first row's part so that the braid lays on top of the braid below it. So as you guys can see, I'm pre-sectioning with my hands and then I'm gonna go back over it with my rat tail comb. So that second row in the back should have a total of 3 sections. For that third row in the back, I'm gonna split that in half and then I'm gonna put up 1/2 of it. And then I'm gonna combine that half that's on the left side with that half that's in the back so that I could do the same brick layering routine with that row as well. That first row that you guys see on the left side, I'm just gonna leave it like that. That's gonna be a braid itself, so I'm not gonna mess with it at all. I'm gonna try my best to do the brick layering routine throughout the entire head. So what I do on one side, I'm also gonna do to the other side. Now that I'm done parting, I have a total of 19 sections on my head. So now I'm ready to go ahead and start installing my knotless box braids. That video will be coming shortly after this one. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something. If you did, go ahead and leave this video a thumbs up. If you have any questions, leave it down below. And don't forget to support my channel by subscribing and hitting that bell so you won't miss another video.